A new school year starts at Kawago City Days in middle school as Mizuno Akane and her friends check out the class list to see if they will be classmates together. Mizuno Akane gets separated with both of her friends from the track club. An opening ceremony is commenced to welcome students. Meanwhile, Kotaru Azuni observes his classmates and describes the type of friends they have formed. Akane nervously enters their classroom when her old friend Era welcomes her. On his way home, Kotaru enters the literature club room alone to write stories while Akane meets with the track club to practice. Akane's family went out to eat in a restaurant where Kotaru and his family also went. They notice each other and get shy. As Akane gets drink for her family, she meets with Kotaru, who also went to get drinks. Akane tells her older sister that he was her classmate. Akane's older sister then proceeds to tell the information to their mother, which leads to their mother going to the nearby table and talking to Kotaru's parents. Akane tells Kotaru to not tell a word about what happened. At school, Kotaru and Akane were put in the same group for the sports festival. Akane collects her group mates, numbers to form a group chat, but then forgets Kotaru's. Kotaru gets reprimanded for not doing his group tasks. Akane follows him to the storage room to ask for his line number as she explains that he is the only one not included in their group chat. At home, Akane finally added Kotaru to their group chat. The sports festival starts at their school with a 200-meter sprint. Akane's race comes up and she easily leads the competition. There were boys in her team who checks her out, which Kotaru hears and makes him blush. While Kotaru was doing his equipment duty, he overhears Hira hitting up on Akane. Kotaru's race comes up as he gets nervous because he did not have any sleep. Kotaru gets left behind by Hira and the rest of his competitors as he falls down and finishes last. Chanatsu, one of Akane's best friend, meets up with Kotaru to heal his wounds as she was looking after the clinic. The equipment group gathers to organize the last program when Hira asks for Akane's program list because he lost his. Akane unknowingly drops her squishy, which helps her get by her anxiety upon reaching out for the list. Akane notices that her squishy was lost and forgets to do her equipment duty. They inform Akane that she didn't do her duty of filling up the boxes for the game as Kotaru rushes to get the papers needed in the game. Kotaru overhears Akane asking people if they have seen her squishy. Akane's final competition comes up and she is still anxious about her missing squishy. When it was Akane's turn, she messes up the race by dropping the baton and falling down the track. Later, when Akane was about to go home, Kotaru arrives and hands her the squishy he worked hard on finding. Kotaru leaves her words of encouragement upon hearing about her anxiety. Kotaru checks out the latest literature magazine to see the results of the writing competition. He joined and gets dejected not seeing his name. Kotaru tries to seek some comfort from Akane by texting her, which he gets when Akane tells him the exact words of encouragement he said the other day. Akane practices with the club for her competition next week, while Kotaru visits the library to look for some advice. Akane informs Kotaru of her track competition, but Kotaru is unable to come because of his practice, so he just offers to pray for her. Akane's track finally starts while Kotaru visits the shrine to pray. Kotaru then attends the practice for their city's festival and checks if Akane has contacted him. Yet, on her way home, they unexpectedly met. Akane informs Kotaru of her win and how she beat her own personal record. Kotaru then confesses to Akane and asks if she can go out with him. Their school trip starts and Akane and Kotaru haven't been speaking to each other since he confessed. While shopping for souvenirs with Chinatsu, Kotaru arrives at the same shop and Chinatsu gets friendly with him, which makes Akane leave. At night, while resting, Kotaru tries to sneak out to chat with Akane. However, a teacher came up and out of panic, he sends his invitation to Akane to spend their free time at the mall tomorrow. After sending it, the teacher has confiscated Kotaru's phone. When her friends finally gave her alone time, Akane ran to the mall to see if Kotaru will be there. Upon arriving there, she can't find Kotaru, and he is not responding to her texts as well. It started raining and Kotaru is still finding his way to the mall. He meets up with Chinatsu, whom he asks if he could borrow her cell phone to contact Akane. They later meet up, and Akane acts indifferent towards Kotaru for being so friendly with Chinatsu. Then she answers his confession by telling him that she wants to talk to him more. Kotaru and Akane starts dating but keeps it a secret. Kotaru asks his friend of dating advices as Akane asks her older sister as well. Kotaru gets an idea to invite Akane to meet up at the library the next day at lunch to talk to her alone. Lunch break arrives and Kotaru rushes to get out of the classroom and go to the library. Meanwhile, Akane can't find the timing to tell her friends. While waiting at the library, Chinatsu came instead of Akane and met up with Kotaru. Akane arrived next and saw the two of them talking alone in the library. Chinatsu explained that she asked Kotaru's help because she might go to the same cram school as him, but Akane was jealous even after Chinatsu left. Akane's track record gets worse, so Hira tries to invite her to walk together. The following day, Kotaru tells his friend that his relationship is not going too well because they can't find a place to meet. His friend offered his bookshop as a location for the two of them to meet and talk alone. They finally get their alone time and talked about Akane's upcoming prefectural meet. Kotaru reaches out for Akane's hands, but after a while Akane's phone rings, making the two of them flustered. Akane checked her phone and a message from Chinatsu came saying she likes Kotaru. While at home, Kadoyama Publishing reaches out for Kotaru asking about his writing submission. The following day, Kotaru and Akane meet up in the library to talk. Kotaru informed Akane that a publishing company reached out to him and that he is sorry that he can't come cheer for her in her upcoming prefectural meet. They promise each other to do their best. Kotaru goes out to go to the publishing company while Akane gets ready to compete in the prefectural meet. Akane apologizes to Chinatsu and tells her that she is actually dating Kotaru, which Chinatsu responds that she knew. Meanwhile, Kotaru gets to talk with an editor from the publishing company who tells him that his serious literature work is no good and that he has no talent. The editor then offers him that if he can write a different kind of novel, such as light novel, then it might be better for him. Akane loses in the prefectural meet and cries in front of Hira, who tries to scold and comfort her. The following day, Kotaru and Akane talk about Akane's loss in the prefectural meet and Kotaru's failure at the publishing company. They both promise to each other that they will focus more and do more of their best in their chosen paths. Later on, Akane and Chinatsu apologize to each other, but Chinatsu told Akane that she will confess to him because she wants a proper closure. Akane, along with her friends and the track club, went to the amusement park. While in line for one of the rides, Chinatsu asks Kotaru to sit beside her. As they shop for souvenirs, Akane and Hira get teased a lot by their friends, which makes Kotaru feel dejected. Kotaru then went alone to try and find Roman, one of their friends who went alone to the rides. Roman later contacts Kotaru to tell him that he is at the clinic. Upon arriving at Roman's room, Roman told Kotaru that he'd help Kotaru to get lost alone with Akane. However, upon checking his messages, Akane was already missing with Hira. Kotaru went ahead to find them. He immediately caught up to them upon seeing them walk side by side, which made Kotaru snap and tell Hira that Akane is his girlfriend. Hira rushed to ask their friends regarding the information, and everyone was surprised to know about it as well, aside from Roman. Meanwhile, Kotaru and Akane enjoy their time alone together. Later at night, Kotaru and Akane shared a romantic time together by watching the fireworks display. As they went back to school, everyone started gossiping about Kotaru and Akane's relationship. Akane went ahead to go and practice while Kotaru gets convinced by his friends to stay and wait for Akane so they can walk home together. Kotaru followed Akane so he could ask her to walk together. After her practice, Akane went to the library to meet up with Kotaru. They had meal together inside the library when someone contacted Kotaru, asking if he can practice for the festival. Akane went with Kotaru to his practice and see what he does. Kotaru and Akane then went to the Hikawa shrine together to buy wind chimes. While looking for souvenirs, Kotaru revealed to Akane that his birthday has already passed days ago. Akane separated with Kotaru to try and buy something for Kotaru. After not knowing what to buy, she resorted to buying him the same squishy she has. She met with Kotaru back to buy wind chimes and write their wishes onto it. Later, she gave him the squishy she bought as his birthday present. Kotaru and Akane talk about their high school choices and decisions as they will be graduating soon. After realizing they might enter a different school, they settle having different high schools since they live nearby. However, Akane's father announces that they might be moving soon since he is being transferred. Kotaru asks Akane if he can watch her final track meet, to which she denies because she would be embarrassed and nervous. Akane arrives at the track stadium and Kotaru still went to watch her without informing her. Akane's category comes up and she easily wins the meet, also beating her new personal best. Akane and her clubmates gather together as Kotaru silently leaves the stadium. Akane and her friends are having lunch together when they get emotional, thinking that it will be their last lunch and run together. Later at home, Kotaru sends an apology to Akane as he confesses that he actually went to the stadium to watch her. Akane then also confessed to Kotaru that there might be a possibility for them to move. After receiving the text, Kotaru immediately called Akane to confirm the details of their moving. Akane plans to apply to Kame High School in Chiba through a recommendation because of her good grades. She also applied to Kotaru's cram school. Kotaru tells Akane that he plans on applying on Kame as well by taking an exam. Akane attends the Kawagoe City Festival along with her friends. They watch as Kotaru performs one of the festival dances he has been practicing. After his dance, Kotaru is given a break and he immediately contacted Akane to meet up. However, he finds Hira and Akane alone together as Hira confesses his love for Akane. Akane rejected Hira, then ran to meet up with Kotaru. However, upon meeting up with Kotaro, he was acting cold with her. Kotaro even rejects her relationship with Akane in front of his acquaintances because he feels jealous upon seeing Akane alone with Hira. The festival resumes and Kotaro continues his dance while Akane goes back home alone as she cries. Akane arrives at the cram school and sees a Kamei High School book in there. Upon asking about the book, she was informed that someone has requested it. She meets up with Kotaro and asks him about the book, to which Kotaro confirms that he was the one who requested it because he plans on applying there. Akane hugs Kotaro out of happiness because of his decision, while Kotaro apologizes for how he acted during the festival. Kotaro attends the parent-teacher meeting with his mother. He informs his mother that he does not plan on attending a municipal high school like his mother wants, and instead wants to apply at Kamei High School, along with Akane. His mother scolds him as they arrive at home for choosing a school just because of a girl and not talking to them about his decision. The following day, Kotaro continues to act indifferent towards his mother and go directly to his room to study for the entrance exam. Next day at school, everyone's already gossiping about how Kotaro has decided to apply to the same school as Akane. While cleaning Kotaro's room, his mother realizes his hard work to enter Kamei upon seeing all the papers and books in his room. The next day, Kotaro and Akane decide to meet up to celebrate the Christmas together. Kotaro handed Akane his gift, which is a handkerchief she can use at the club, while Akane gives her gift, which is a hand-knitted scarf. Later on, the results of Akane's entrance exams come out and she informs Kotaro that she had passed at Kamei. Kotaro's father makes a deal with him that he will be allowed to try out for Kamei, but if he fails, he will have to go to the municipal high school. The entrance exam results of Kotaro for Kamei comes out and he fails. He apologizes to Akane for failing to go to the same school as her. The following day, the results for the municipal high school come out and Kotaro passed. He relays the information to Akane immediately. Shinatsu approaches him to tell him that she had passed in the same school as well. As they walk home together, Shinatsu takes the time to confess her love for Kotaro as she hugs him. Kotaro apologizes as he rejects Shinatsu. Shinatsu informs Akane that she passed in the school and that she has confessed to Kotaro. Their middle school graduation arrives and they take pictures to commemorate the day. Akane and Kotaro hang out the next day to talk about their plans when Akane moves out. Kotaro promises her that he will visit her weekly even if the fare is expensive. However, Akane suddenly bursts out and asks Kotaro why he hasn't told her that Shinatsu confessed to him and that he must have at least told her because she was always getting anxious that she might be being too much burden to him. She runs away from Kotaro as she shed tears. Akane's moving day comes and her mom allows her to take a later train in order to spend more time with her friends before she leaves. Shinatsu shows Akane the novel Kotaro posted online, which is a narration of how she and Kotaro met and became together. After seeing Akane's comment on his novel, Kotaro ran all the way to the train station. However, Shinatsu tells him that Akane already went through the gate, so instead Kotaro just ran to a place where the train would surely pass by. Meanwhile, Akane continues to read his novel where he says that no matter how far apart they are, his feelings will never change, and that he will always love her. Kotaro shouts, "I love you" to Akane's train which is passing by. The ending shows how their lives continued even after Akane moved. They would communicate through line and Kotaro would visit her occasionally, until they graduated high school, got their own jobs, had their wedding, and built their own family.